You've been lied to. Maybe not intentionally, maybe not maliciously, but the lie is everywhere. In books, in forums, in trading groups, in social media posts, in the way traders brag about their results. And the lie sounds like this: if you just become more accurate, if you just get better at predicting the market, if you can just string together enough winning trades, then one day, finally, you'll become rich. But let me say it right now, and let me say it clearly. Accuracy will never make you rich in trading. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. I know that cuts against everything you've been taught to believe, because accuracy feels safe. Accuracy feels like progress. Accuracy feels like the key to certainty. When you hit a winning streak, when you post screenshots of green trades, when you tell yourself you're finally cracking the code, it feels like accuracy is the way. But here's the problem. Accuracy is a seduction. It's a psychological trap. It gives you the illusion of control while keeping you blind to the real mechanics of wealth in trading. Let me pull you into this deeper. Imagine you have a 90% win rate. Sounds impressive, right? You win 9 trades out of 10. People on social media would worship you. They'd call you a guru. They'd want your signals. But here's the question. What happens if that one losing trade wipes out all the profit from the 9 winners? What happens if your 90% accuracy is built on small, fragile wins and one massive blow-up? Suddenly, your accuracy is worthless. You've proven the point. Accuracy doesn't equal wealth. That's the first reason accuracy will never make you rich, because accuracy is fragile. You can build the illusion of consistency, but if your losses are uncontrolled, if your risk isn't structured, then accuracy is just a vanity metric. It's a number that flatters your ego, but empties your account. Real wealth in trading is built not on accuracy, but on risk to reward structure, on asymmetry, on making sure your losers are survivable and your winners compound. That's where wealth comes from. But traders don't like that. They want the dopamine of being right. They want the psychological comfort of predicting the market. And that brings me to the second reason. Accuracy will never make you rich. Accuracy feeds your ego, not your equity. Every time you obsess over being right, every time you chase setups just to maintain a win streak, every time you avoid taking a stop loss because you don't want to ruin your accuracy, you're serving your ego, not your growth. Ego loves accuracy. Ego needs to be right. But wealth doesn't care if you're right or wrong on any single trade. Wealth cares about probability across a series of trades. Wealth cares about whether your structure lets you survive the wrong calls and scale the right ones. If you keep serving your ego's obsession with accuracy, you'll starve your account while feeling proud of yourself. That's the irony. Let me ask you directly. Have you ever refused to close a losing trade because you didn't want to be wrong? Have you ever moved your stop further away just to give it more room when deep down you knew you were just protecting your pride? That's ego using accuracy as a drug. And that drug is why traders stay broke. Now here's the third reason accuracy will never make you rich. Accuracy ignores the law of large numbers. Trading isn't a single coin flip. It's not about 1 trade or 10 trades or even 100 trades. It's about the law of repetition. Wealth comes from structured probability applied over thousands of trades, not a small sample size of wins. Accuracy tricks you into thinking the short term matters. But the law of large numbers doesn't care about your win streak. It cares about your edge, your process, your ability to replicate structure over time. That's where compounding happens. If you judge yourself by accuracy in the short term, you'll keep resetting, keep changing strategies, keep chasing the next holy grail. You'll never stay consistent long enough to let the law of large numbers reward you. Think about casinos. Casinos don't care if you, as a player, win 10 hands in a row. They don't panic if your accuracy beats them for an hour, because they understand the law of large numbers. Over thousands of hands, their edge always wins. That's why casinos are rich and gamblers are broke. Accuracy in the short term is irrelevant. Structure in the long term is everything. And most traders never understand this, so they keep playing the gambler while the market plays the casino. Now we get to the fourth reason. Accuracy will never make you rich. Accuracy creates emotional fragility. When your identity as a trader is tied to being right, you can't handle being wrong. You can't handle drawdowns. You can't handle randomness. You become emotionally fragile, and fragile traders break. The market punishes fragility. The market demands resilience. And resilience isn't built on accuracy. It's built on structure. When you know your system, when you know your risk, when you trust the process, being wrong doesn't break you. It's just part of the sequence. But when your worth is tied to being right, every loss feels like a personal attack. Every stop out feels like failure. And eventually, the pressure cracks you. That's why accuracy keeps you broke. It doesn't just fail to make you rich, it actively sabotages your psychology. And finally, the fifth reason accuracy will never make you rich is this. Accuracy distracts you from intentional design. While you're chasing higher win rates, you're ignoring the real levers of wealth. You're not designing your risk exposure. You're not optimizing your position sizing. You're not refining your structure. You're not compounding discipline. You're not engineering asymmetry. You're just chasing the high of winning trades, which means you're trapped in the hamster wheel of emotional trading. Rebels break that wheel. Rebels stop caring about accuracy. Rebels care about process, about design, about the repeatable structures that build wealth, regardless of being right or wrong on any single trade. Let me drive this home with a simple truth. If you had a system that won only 30% of the time, but your winners were 5 times bigger than your losers, you'd become wealthy. You'd have an edge that compounds. But if you had a system that won 90% of the time, but your one loss was 10 times bigger than your wins, you'd eventually go broke. That's the whole game, right there. It's not about how often you're right. It's about what happens when you're right versus what happens when you're wrong. So let me turn this into a question for you, because I don't want you to just nod along. I want you to confront this in yourself. Have you been chasing accuracy because it feels good? Have you been defining success by your win rate instead of your structure? Have you been bragging about accuracy while secretly knowing your losses wipe out your gains? If so, you've been living in the lie. And the sooner you rebel against that lie, the sooner you can start building real wealth in trading. This is why I built Trading Rebels, because the mainstream is obsessed with vanity metrics. They want to sell you strategies with 90% win rates. They want to impress you with accuracy. But accuracy won't pay your bills. Accuracy won't build your freedom. Accuracy won't compound into wealth. Structure will. Intentional design will. Risk asymmetry will. And if you're ready to stop chasing accuracy and start commanding probability, then you're in the right place. So here's what I want you to do. Right now, commit to changing the question you ask yourself as a trader. Stop asking, how accurate am I? Start asking, how structured am I? Stop asking, how often am I right? Start asking, what happens when I'm wrong and can I survive it? Stop asking, how many trades did I win today? Start asking, am I building a structure that compounds over years? Those are the rebel questions. Those are the questions accuracy will never teach you to ask. And here's your call to action. If you're ready to shift from accuracy to structure, from vanity metrics to wealth design, then subscribe to Trading Rebels right now. Because every episode, we're dismantling the lies and giving you the structures that actually build consistency and wealth. Drop a comment below and tell me, have you been addicted to accuracy, or are you ready to break free from that trap? And share this with another trader who brags about win rates. Because they need to hear the truth before the market breaks them. Accuracy will never make you rich. It's a distraction. It's a seduction. It's a myth. The rebels know better. The rebels are building wealth on structure, on probability, on intentional design. Don't waste another year chasing accuracy. Rebel against it, build the structure, command the probability, and watch wealth follow.